All right, guys, we were just listening to CNBC and they were talking about how they're printing homes right now. Me and Mark are watching this. We were just talking about the way that technology is happening right now. If you will not keep up, you won't have a business. I keep saying that to you guys. But if we're talking about investments, like I was talking to Mark and Lennar is now printing houses. They said they can do it for cheaper. They just did 100 homes in Texas. That is what's up. And watching it is nuts. It looks like they're just making a bunch of versions of like the Michelin Man. The Michelin Man. Oh, that no, that's from Shrek, but he was talking about something else. Anyways, the part about that is they did 100 houses all in there in this one subdivision. They did what was it? Two houses or how many? Two houses a week, which means they did 8 houses a month, which took them roughly just under 12 months to do 100 houses. They're selling for about 400,000, right? They're really nice. The fixing, the amenities on these houses, beautiful, which means what? You can't keep up with Lennar, even if you're a developer. You can't afford the technology for the equipment, the printing stuff, the power that goes into it. They're going to beat everybody out because they've already figured out the model. They've got the permits, the plans. Lennar's a publicly traded company and they develop homes. It's what they've been doing forever. But if you're a retail investor, everyday investor, you're thinking about investments, we were talking about this. If you aren't already looking at your money right now and saying, where is it? What's going to happen to it? Now, the reason why I bring up Lennar is because technology is changing the way housing is done. But the one thing that will never change is people will always need a place to go. Not everybody can afford a house right now, and they shouldn't. So they will always rent. We are looking at for multifamily real estate, the housing market, but for rentals. Now, when I talk about rentals, I'm not talking about renting through need. We call it renters by choice. People who make a good bit of money and they want to rent because they want the amenities. They want the multi-million dollar swimming pool. They want the movie room. They want the gyms. They want the business centers. They want all the Zoom rooms included. They want the dog parks, valet parking, valet trash, all of it. So as it relates to you as an investor, when you're talking about investing your money, taking your money and converting your cash into real assets, you want to know where it's going and can you lose any of it, right? That's the big thing because I talked to somebody the other day where it was really cool talking to her. She's a syndicator as well. She was like, "Why do you like California?" And I was like, "I love California." And she lives here. She was like, "But why not in these other places?" And I was like, "I don't want the mystery in my investments, just like I'm talking about investing with a company like Lennar. You can buy shares of Lennar knowing what they're doing, your shares will go up, but there's an air of mystery because at some point, if something happens, power grid goes down, they can't do stuff, technology changes and adjustments, it's going to knock out your investment. So because you only own shares in a publicly traded company or inside of a REIT, whatever you're going to invest in, you are also in the ebbs and flows of the market. Just like we saw this, their stock's probably going to go the hell up. Right now, it probably jump points. I wish I could look at it, but I'm not. Everybody that got in 2 years ago is like, yeah. Everybody who didn't get in is going to get in while it's high. But as that cools off and they have a competitor in the marketplace, because remember, when you're first, you're first. But when you're first, you also got a target on your back. People can see you, they can model what you do, and then they do what you do a little bit cheaper. While they will be the most known, they may not be the best known, right? Somebody else can come in and knock it out. But when you're investing, you need to know that. Same thing like I tell people with your real estate. If you're investing money in multifamily real estate like we're looking to do at Bell Capital, that's what we do. We raise money to buy real estate and we invest that capital on behalf of our investors into income producing real estate with us, right? Alongside of us. We know our markets. That's what I was telling her. I was like, look, I don't want to learn North Carolina. I don't want to go there. It's hot. It's sticky. I know a lot of people who invest there and they make a lot of money there. I love North Carolina. We traveled there. We've been there. But I don't want my money there, which is why I always say you got to know where you want your money. Do you want it in stocks? Do you want it in bonds? And I'm going to go through why multifamily for me. Like I said, it's number one, I was alluding to it. I went long, right, Mark? It's housing. That's number one. I believe we're going to continue to be a renter nation as the interest rates drop. This is something that people don't get. Housing right now, a lot of it's at a standstill because interest rates in the market, I think interest rates for homes are coming down a little bit, but they're typically right now 7%. Soon as the rates drop to 6.5, 6.25, the refinance opportunities are going to start because people are going to be like, hey, I got a little bit higher interest rate. I just bought. I'm going to drop. They're not going to sell. That's going to cause a frenzy because once that happens and people that can sell are going to be like, dude, sell. they're going to sell for an astronomical price to you, and that's going to make home prices go up. So when people talk about inflationary housing, when they're talking about homes, that's the value of your homes selling a lot higher. That's going to happen. So rents are also going to go up. I want my rents to go up because it makes the values of multifamily go up, which is why I like multifamily, because we are betting on rents continuously going up in this country, which they have since 1945, since World War I, since your great grandmommy and great granddaddy came around, or they came back from war, they got sold a story to buy a home. People who could not buy a home started renting. That's why you see all these apartment buildings that were built in the 40s and the 50s and stuff like that. They're old, they're small, the ceilings are low, but that's where that started. All right. So the other piece of why multifamily, and I'm moving fast through this because I kind of got excited talking about Lennar, and I just think that's amazing, dude. I keep up with technology. Is that when you move your like we were talking about multifamily. So one, it's a renter nation. Number two, I love multifamily. It's not going away. Three, it's getting better as we go, right? Because the people who are going to buy homes, some people are going to be like, dude, I just want to rent. I want the nice stuff. You want to own, and you want your cash out of the bank converted from regular fiat paper cash that is continuously going down in value no matter what they say, because inflation will continue to go up, right? Same dollar is going to buy you 5 years from now, the cost of goods are going to be 10% or 15% higher because inflation is 2%, right? 2.8. It's inflationary. But if you aren't making any money, it don't matter. So if you leave your money in the bank, your $100 doesn't buy $100 worth of goods next year, the year after that, any of that stuff. So when you convert it to multifamily real estate and the rents are increasing and it's keeping up past inflation, you get the benefits of that. And oh, by the way, the biggest thing for me is that real estate itself is real. Your cash money is not. At some point, I think it was in Europe over time, people were like, take this money and get rid of it. Do not come home with it. People were giving money away. People were at some point in history over in Europe, they were burning money to stay warm because it had zero value. That was a deflation of their money at that time. But as the inflation happens, our money has to become deflationary. It has to go down in value, right? Because it buys less. Anyways, sorry, you don't need an economics lecture from Victor. But here's what I think. Why multifamily real estate and what is that? The cost of what? Steel jobs. That's happening too, guys. But why your cash is less valuable than the real assets you can put in. One, like I just said, because inflation. The cost of goods go up. Value of your dollar is not rising with the cost of those goods, and it has nothing to keep up with unless you invest it. If it's in the bank, it's getting 0.002. Let's just say it's getting 2%. It's still not enough to keep up with inflation. And oh, by the way, any gain you get when you take it out, which is what I was talking to this other investor about yesterday, even if they're getting that gain, when you take it out, it's ordinary income or it's earned income. So you have to pay taxes on that. So if you got 2%, you're going to have to be paying another 40% in taxes on what you got, right? So you're actually losing that. You're getting like less than a percent on that money. So technically it's no gain because you don't have the tax benefits to roll over on that. So that's my driver for cash being trash. Converted into a real asset. Next, if you were to have that same money sitting in an IRA or 401k, you don't know. Matter of fact, we were talking about this. I know people personally, and other people know people personally, that their IRA account, naturally it's in a mutual fund, it's in Vanguard, it's in Fidelity, it's in Schwab. They have no control over that. Today or tomorrow, they wake up, they have lost money, or their retirement account, 401k IRA, has went down in value because it's spread out into so many different companies, mutual funds, and they don't know what's happening, especially if there's no stopper. So let's just say the stock market went down, Dow was down 400 points, 700 points, 200 points. I think it just finally caught fire and went up 200 points. 200 points from what? A 700 or a 900 point loss? That's not 200 point gain on your retirement accounts. You're just trying to get back to zero. Like, get back to the equal amount of your loss, and then you make a different gain. Now, if you're not touching it, no big deal. But wouldn't you rather, instead of having your money tied into like companies that kill babies, supply war, equipment for war, materials, steel, all the other stuff that you say you hate, vaccines that you said you didn't want to take, all of your mutual funds are tied up in all of that stuff, and you are funding killing kids, cancer, and a bunch of other stuff. But you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't like smoking. I think they should stop it. Your retirement account's funding it. I promise you, if you take a look at what your index funds are attached to inside of your mutual funds, you'll find out the majority of us paying for stuff you actually hate. plastic bottles where you watch sea turtles with the freak plastic around their necks. Oh, that's bad. Why would they do this? You're doing it. You just don't know because you don't know where your money is. So, next, bonds, T-bills. We know that. I have friends of mine, sometimes they'll take their money out of the stock market or they take their money and they move it to treasuries. 2-year treasury was like 4 or something like that. I think it was doing good. I'm sure it's going to pop up. But the reason why I like real estate is because our real estate, the real estate we look at, we have to go through government agencies. So it's Fannie, Freddie Mac, Life Co., a debt fund, or it's secured by the SOFR, which is the secured overnight Federal Reserve rate or something like that. Those rates are secured by Treasury. So let's just say in a real estate deal, and you're in Fannie or you're in Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac as it relates to the debt is concerned. That debt is tethered to a treasury. So you're actually getting treasury anyways, and you're going to be paying a little bit of points because that's how they make their money, right? But here's the deal with that though. There's security in that. So just because you have your own, what did I say earlier? The difference of, let's say you bought a treasury and it's at 4. Go with me on this. And we're paying 6% on the rate, or hypothetically, and I wouldn't do that right now, but let's say we're paying 6% on our interest rate, tethered to 4% on the treasury. Let's say you bought that same treasury. When you get a treasury, you make a gain on that. Again, you are still paying the taxes on the gain that you made. So you're still going to, let's say you made 2% or whatever over on the top, 4%. Your 4% is really 2, right? You get that. But when you invest that same money in real estate tethered, or it's wrapped up into real estate based on the debt of the real estate's paying you, right? Because you're getting the cash flow and you get the tax benefits that kicks over of that. So the loss that you would have had just having the treasury with your gain and paying the ordinary income tax, the ordinary tax or the earned tax on that, you actually get to write that off with the money that you made. So now instead of your 4 turning into 2, you actually gain 2% because you didn't have to pay the 40% on the money that you made on your money. So if you actually made, let's say 5%, that's like me paying you 7% on your money because it didn't cost you the 2% or the 40% taxes on the 4% on the treasury bill. I know that was complicated. My brain just like, I'm having fun right now. It's actually right, Mark. So next, this one's big. It's Bitcoin. I can't handle it. I bought some Bitcoin. It went down. I'm done buying it. I'm done, done, done. I'm just gonna let it sit there. So for everybody out there, you miners, you people with what is it? Steel hands, whatever those, the miners, the Bitcoin people, the people who play it, the laser eyes because they're focused. Great, go do that. But the way to go about doing Bitcoin, one, you can't buy a big enough position for you to really feel it. Everybody who's pumped up about Bitcoin has had Bitcoin when people are like, "You guys are stupid." They've had it that long, so they're getting the game. They got in when it was probably like, I don't know, 10 grand, $5,000 a coin or whatever it was. Now it's at, even though it's low, it was at 106,000. I think that was the peak. I think now it's at like 80. It's in the $80,000 range, 86, somewhere in there, whatever. But you can't get enough. The way to go get your Bitcoin is to invest your money in real estate, take the cash flow from your real estate and have your real estate pay for your Bitcoin. Then you don't care. And that's if you don't need your cash flow. If you need your cash flow, which I suggest you take and double down on your real estate investments, then later go back and get Bitcoin. But the volatility in Bitcoin, you don't want your money to do Bitcoin. You want somebody else's money or your investments money to do the Bitcoin. But I believe real estate is better than that. Real estate doesn't have the ebbs and flows all year. If you have, let's say we have 200 units and everybody in the apartment, their rents are 2,500 a month. That is the rent. That's stable. And then the next year, I'm going to raise the rents, let's say $100. Now it's 2,600. I'm going to keep doing that. You can't guarantee that your Bitcoin is going to do that. You have to buy and hope and pray and don't look at it like I do. It's like it's like trying to lose weight. You can't say you're going to lose 50 pounds and then get on the scale every morning and, oh, I didn't lose the weight I wanted. Of course you didn't. You went to sleep, you drank water, you might have used the bathroom 2, 3 more times less than you did yesterday. So you're going to fluctuate. You can't look at it. But that's why real estate's better. I can look at it and I already know what's going to happen. That's different. So if you have your money just sitting, you're better off putting in real estate than you're like, I'm going to just go do Bitcoin. And most of you guys out there are probably in Bitcoin. If it's attached now to your retirement account, it's in an ETF, but it's still going up and down, right? It's just hedged. All right. Last but not least, I'm skipping gold and silver. You know my opinion on gold and silver. Yes, big players, institutions move their money over to gold and silver over time because it's real. Yet it doesn't cash flow. You can't come to me and like, Vic, I got this gold bullion and I want to buy your jacket. I'm gonna be like, dude, get that shit out of here, bro. You're not getting my jacket. Go somewhere, bro. But that's the difference with gold. You can't trade it that way. I can't go. And if you did give it to me, I got to go back to some gold guy. He has to check the what's that called? The serial number on it, right? He has to go and make sure it's valid. There's a lot of work to just do that. I know some people swear up and down by it. I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna do gold, dude. This ain't the 1800s, man. We're not in Little House on the Prairie. None of that matters. So, and in your own business, you guys know the only other thing that I say on here that in my mind, where you want your money, if you're going to put your money into anything, would be your own business. But why would you want two businesses? 9 out of 10 businesses make less than $1 million a year in revenue. There's 33 million small businesses. There's 33 million small businesses in America, and majority of them have 1 to 0 employees. That is not a dream. That sounds like a freaking nightmare. Like we all go through that. But if you're going to have a business, it is hard enough to train your employees, get people on board, make sure your staff is good, market, create, do all the other stuff that you're doing outside of just do the service or sell the product that you have, and also keep up with this crap, AI, technology, inflation, the tariffs, all this other stuff. Why would you do that? Focus on what you're doing that's already making money, that continue to grow that. Keep your top line focused. Be top line focused if you're an entrepreneur or business owner. Take that additional money that when you end the year and throw down in real estate and then have that real estate perform for you, right? And take the tax write-offs from the real estate that gets passed down to you because you're a partner, because you would invest in a syndication or a fund, something like us. And then that way you don't pay taxes, or you pay little to no taxes on the money that you receive from your real estate. And some of that could be written off as it relates to your tax ramifications. See your accountant for that. I'm not your accountant, but that's how it works. That's how I've done it. So the reason why this is important, number one, you need to know where your money is. Number two, you need to take awareness, pay attention. I've been talking about this a lot. If you don't get your money right, if you don't start investing in your money, not even get your money right, your money's probably right. You probably know how to earn money in your business. You're probably good at that. If you are the person that I talk to, you're probably great at saving it as well. You were taught that. Your mommy was like, penny earned is a penny saved. And your daddy was like, don't just spend. You need to put money aside for a rainy day. It's raining. It's rained all week. Your money probably didn't grow. The way you make your money grow is you invest your money. Wealthy people invest money, period. If you want to create wealth, if you want to build wealth for you, your family, your kids, you want to leave money to your church, your charity, and feel good about it. When somebody calls, you just want to give right now, you cannot do that if you haven't invested money in the past, and take your investment money that's continued to pay you, and you can take some of that money and be like, hey, you know what? This was cash flow. That's why I did it. So I can leave something generationally to other people. I mean, don't you want a hospital named after you, man? Or a road or something? You don't want it to just be like clean up or adopt a highway, or you got like this little stretch of the highway where you was picking up trash, where you and your kids. You want to write a check to your church, and they be like, hey, we're raising money because we're going to renovate the children's church, and we need $2 million. You want to write that check and write the check and not have like sweaty palms as you walk back to your car. How are we going to do it? You want to you don't want it to affect anything. You don't want to have to go to your accountant. You don't want to have to go to your finance department at your company. You don't want to do any of that. You want to be able to be like, dude, I did this for this purpose. You can't do that with the ebbs and flows of what's going on in the market. You can't do that if you aren't watching your money constantly. You can't do that if you don't invest your money in something that protects your capital, that gives you cash flow, that appreciates long periods over time, that allows you to be scale with other opportunities, right? And I didn't even bring that up, right? When we talk about that all the time. The easiest way for you to actually be a part of something big, I want to build $1 billion company. That's what we're doing at Bell Capital, period. A multi-billion-dollar real estate portfolio. I can't do that alone. I have to share that with other people. The easiest way for you to be a part of a $1 billion company or $1 billion portfolio is to be a partner in there. Mark Zuckerberg is not the main owner of Facebook. He has partners. His investors are partners. He has other people involved. He raised money. Jeff Bezos, he only owns a small percentage of Amazon. It's him and his shareholders and his investors and his employees and the people who buy. Like, No one owns 100% of anything, but if you aren't thinking like that, then you will just look at what you have and you're like, nope, I'm going to hold it. And you're going to put your hands over your little candle to make sure the wind don't blow it out, but it's going to blow itself out. On your last dying breath, trying to keep that thing alive, you're going to, and it's going to go out. You're like, shit, what'd I do? I should have been investing my money the whole time so I can do something with it. So that's my story to you guys. I know I got long and I might have got off, and you're probably like, what the hell's Vic talking about? I'm talking about investing your money and making sure that you don't squander it. Super important, man. Look, I'm gonna lean in. Over the next probably 12 to 18 months, I've been talking about this. Yes, I'm okay with saying something and being wrong. I was wrong. I thought it was the last 12 to 18 months, but it's actually coming up because we see it happening. You need to put yourself in a position where you have so much income coming in that you can double down on your real estate investments. Invest with me, invest with somebody else. Invest in a syndicator. If you watch what's happening, there's going to be less and less opportunities for you to do by yourself. Then there will be more opportunities for you to do on the strength of other people, their strength in numbers. Just like in survival of the fittest and herds and packs and the safari and things like that. The animals that survive live in packs. There is no animal that survives on its own for any extended period of time. We barely even see pictures of those animals, right? Probably skinny. Think about that. Over the next 12 to 18 months, what if you were to just take what you had, you work really hard, and you go, look, I'm going to raise enough money through my business, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to invest it in cash flow, income producing great assets that will not go anywhere in cities that everyone's always going to want it. You don't want to just get stuff because you have access to it. You want the right stuff over long periods of time with your money, right? That's how it's going to happen. Now, at the end of that, maybe 24, 18 to 12 to 18 months, maybe 24 months tops, the window is going to shut close, and the only people who are going to be able to function will continue to be these big institutions and banks. JP Morgan, they're taking big shares or big positions right now. Blackstone just closed one of its largest, I think it was a debt fund, it's a private capital fund that they just got cleared with the SEC. And I can't remember the size of the fund, but it was like they raised $300 billion and it might have been more. BlackRock raised I think 600 billion or something like that. It was a ridiculous amount of money. They're making moves to take over the debt side, the private credit side, which means you're a retail investor or you're a business owner or something like that. They can lend you money. So they've watched every time something happens in the economy, the global economy. The big guys watch and they go, cool, we had a debt crisis. Let's make sure that never happens to us again. We had a real estate crisis. Let's make sure that we build a big enough fund to buy the best assets in the world and we will control those assets, never sell them. There won't be another real estate crisis for us. So then right now, they're raising so much money for AI. And they're not really doing, it's not really an AI play. There's only a couple major players in AI, right? But the major players right now are the people who are buying the power centers. We were talking about this. It is like Starwood Capital, major power center player. Like they're buying industrial, um, basically industrial properties to put power centers on it to power AI. So it's not an AI play, it's a real estate play because you need a place to do this. The biggest players on the planet, Blackstone, BlackRock, all of these other, this is happening, guys. Matter of fact, I sent this to somebody the other day. BlackRock bought where they're buying the company that controlled the Panama Canal. And if you watched it, President Trump was like, hey, we're going to take the president to the Panama Canal back. They took that back. And I want to say Blackstone took over a little while ago. So it was something over in the UK, over in Europe or the UK. They took that over, but they're going heavy into infrastructure of the world, not infrastructure of like your city where they're just building highways and schools and stupid stuff like that. Like, watch what's happening and just put yourself in this concept that you go, man, how can I take advantage of that? Watch the money. What are they doing? Now, we can't do it at their level yet, but we can. That's why I did Bell Capital. I didn't do Bell Capital because I wanted to be like everyone else. I did Bell Capital because I want to raise money with great people and investors, and I want to buy the best assets we can. So later, we have the best assets. We got 100,000 units, 50,000 units, 75,000 units, or gee, I would do it with 10,000 units. Why? Where we all go as investors that we all own this portfolio, that one piece of the portfolio, and then we turn it into a REIT and go to Wall Street, and we start that process to say that same way that I see what they're doing, and they eliminate that for the next step because they're thinking on a 1,000-year horizon. I want to do that too with my company. So that way, the next 100 years, 200 years, where I'm dead and gone, but you as an investor with us do something great. And we can do something and we start scoring one against Wall Street, because the little guy will never score one against Wall Street, because little guys like us, I'm a little guy, you're a little guy, we're taught to do it by ourselves. They're not playing the same game, right? They're playing by a whole different playbook. So that's why I do these videos, because I'm watching it. I know I'm animated. I know I get long and stuff like that. This is actually longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to have a calm down version, because YouTube Victor goes nuts, like blah blah blah. But I'm not an idiot. I know if you met me, you'd be like, wow, that guy knows what he's doing. He has a plan. I just communicate on YouTube because I know you're here. All right. So like this video, share this video, comment on the video. I appreciate you guys. I do. And I can't do this without you. So like the video, comment on it. Am I wrong? I'm cool with being wrong, but I'm not okay with not saying what I believe to be right. Right. And I'm okay with people commenting on it and telling me, because I'm always good. That's the one thing I can do as a human being, is change my mind. So let me know if you need anything. Again, like it, share it, comment on it, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. Don't be a hater and a hider at the same time. I'm here for you, bruh. So you need anything, let me know. Let's go. Boom. Are you an accredited investor with $300,000 or more liquid in the bank? I want you to come and partner with me. Look, if you love real estate, passive income, and positive cash flow, appreciation over long periods of time, and you're willing to be patient, come invest with me. Go to bell-capital.com. This is for accredited investors with $300,000 or more in the bank, ready to go. Come invest with me. Go to bell-capital.com.